right, y'all, before we start, because some of y'all be tripping, under the advice of counsel, I got to add that the views, thoughts, opinions that are expressed on this podcast are mine and mine alone. They do not represent my employer. All right, let's go.
Because I was like, damn, do we really want to get into this discussion? Because if we get into this discussion right here, y'all.
What's up, y'all? We are back with another episode of Reach My Forest Finest, the podcast. And we are switching gears and doing a little code switching here as we just transitioned from Teachers After Dark, where we were talking about a lot of things. And now we're going to come back and keep it cute and demure. And we are going to talk about what is going to happen, or what our POV is with the whole Department of Education getting ready to be possibly disbanded. I don't even know if that's the right word to use. And then talk about the whole state of Texas and these school vouchers. So, man, let's just go ahead and jump into it. So let's talk about the whole overarching theme of educational policy changes from, not only the former Trump administration, but now what's going to be the new Trump administration. And our good old Governor Abbott here in reshaping the landscape of education in the U.S. and the state of Texas. I want to highlight how what we're getting ready to discuss is not just changes that are about school choice or funding, but about the larger divide that it's going to create, and that is how race, privilege, and elitism are going to factor into how we make decisions for our school and ultimately for our kids. So, shit. Oh, shoot. Sorry. This is Reach My Forest Finest, the podcast. I'm sorry, I cursed. So, shoot. Let's get into it. So, during his presidency, Donald Trump's administration introduced changes to the Department of Education that affected key protections for marginalized students, including those in the LGBTQ plus community and special education. His administration proposed reducing regulations that require schools to implement diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Good old Miss Bessie, the education secretary, with her knowledgeable useless self, rolled back the protections for sexual assault victims under Title IX that favored the rights of the accused over the victims. Trump also wanted to alter Title IX to limit transgender student rights and potentially reverse some of those protections for those students that they received in public schools. And under him, the Department of Education's approach was seen as more aligned with traditional conservative values and against what many saw as progressive, inclusive policies that sought to protect marginalized students. So, let's start there. What y'all think about the whole getting rid of the Department of Education?
I'm like, where's the checks and balances in? Who's accountable for who's that power going to?
Or houseway. I don't know. Just like you was gonna build that wall. So it's like, how?
And you are.
I'm just like, how is this going to happen? And what is this going to look like? What? Does it mean less paperwork for me in my? Like, I'm trying to figure out. What is this about to mean?
Who decides what's going to get taught?
Then that wouldn't even be them because it's still state. The curriculum is state. So I'm trying to figure out. For the longest I've been asking, like, what kind of.
But that's the thing. We're almost at the point where we're trying to steer away from states' rights. And we're going almost, when it comes to Trump, into it's all about
big government, which is so weird because that is not traditionally conservative. Conservative didn't want big government. Don't tell me to wear my mask. So from my understanding, since the Civil War, being a Republican has always been about, or a conservative, because back then the Republicans were on the side, whatever, we're not going to get on all of that. But the conservatives, y'all didn't like this big government. So it's like, it's just so weird how the party has now changed under this one person.
Exactly, because it's what it is. You've scared so many people to where the people who did oppose him, they're all gone.
Yeah.
miraculously.
Mm-hmm.
And
In
you're
jail.
now left with a bunch of yes men.
Yes, people.
And women. And so how you said this is what it traditionally was, he's changed the whole landscape of Republicanism. And we are going to, like, at the end of the day,
It's a
worst
whole-
case scenario, I see a goddamn dictatorship in our future. Ooh, sorry, I'm cursing again.
It's okay.
It's just
It's hard to switch gears.
It's
after
just,
you just
but it's
dark.
yeah. I'm on genuine. I'm just like confused
Mm-hmm.
for me. Yeah, I'm just like what does this even look like?
Mm-hmm.
Even thinking about the party looks different. It's like, what do y'all believe in other than him? Because it just seems like so un-Republican to me.
Yeah.
Like, y'all not even real Republicans anymore.
So I think let's start with Texas, right?
How you gonna mess up my student loans? That's all I
Well,
need to know.
girl, I don't know. You know, if it's up to him, your ass gonna be paying them student loans.
Yeah, he gonna be looking for
Yeah,
that.
okay, that's why I said it. I already gave it up to Jesus. I don't know what y'all do.
Baby,
They can
I'll be in an apartment for the rest of my life.
They
'Cause
can
y'all
get
can
from,
have it.
Get it from the grave, baby. That's it. So let's start with Texas, all right? So after the whole election the other day, Abbott came out and was basically like, yes, now we got our boy back in. We really finna push this school voucher thing, right? And so it's been an issue in Texas, a central issue in Texas education policy for a long time. And if y'all don't know what vouchers are, for those of you who are listening, vouchers are basically going to allow public funding, which is the taxpayers' dollars, to be used for private school tuition, which critics argue could take away funds from already underfunded public schools, right? Now, I had this chart. I thought I brought it, but I didn't. And it's going to be supposedly two types of vouchers that they want to go for. One is, I want to say income-based, or maybe lie. I had all this shit written. Oh, God, it's so hard to switch gears. I had all these things written down. But one is going to be like, hey, here's a certain amount that your public school gets for you. You could take that and go put it towards what you need to put it for. And I can't remember how the other one was supposed to be used. But anyway, it's just supposed to be something that offsets costs. Now, depending on income or your family status, you get more or less, right? But you're able to take those funds and send it to a school of your choice. And my issue with that is, first of all, these private schools are expensive as heck. Okay, so if they give you, let's just say $7,000 a year, and I think in order to qualify, you had to have attended a public school the year prior, right?
Okay.
And so I give you $7,000. I'm using it as an example, and tell you take the $7,000 over there to Fort Bend Christian Academy or Westbury Christian. No shade to y'all schools. I just thought about y'all.
They might be able to swing it at that school, but they ain't going
At
to
Westbury.
Kincaid.
They're not going to Kincaid. They're not going to
They
Straight.
ain't going to the village.
They're not going to
St.
Episcopal.
Agnes
They're not going to any of them. But what's going to happen when you can't do that? And then I also want people to think about, this is where elitism sometimes takes over our logic and common sense, right? Because what about those parents that have students with disabilities, special needs? You're talking about going to private school with your $7,000 voucher.
That ain't nothing.
And them people don't have to them people don't even have to acknowledge, recognize an IEP, a 504 plan, or anything like that.
And then you're going to come back to the public school.
You're gonna come back to, but
looking
your funds are done. You took your funds. So now how can we fund your child?
Yeah.
And because you've taken all of the funding out of public schools, or we've had to probably slash your special education staff, now what type of education or quality of education is your baby going to get now? And I think people are not thinking about that because they're too busy thinking, we got to get our kids away from them. And this is going to be the easiest way that we can get our kids away from them.
And they've also convinced parents that private schools are the better option. But like I just looked up the Kincaid school. It's $36,000 for
That's
upper
college
school.
tuition.
So your $7,000 ain't nothing, baby. And who said the Kincaid school
Well,
is going to accept you? Because there's a certain brand of student, whether you rich or not. You know how rich you have to be to send a dummy kid to there? And I'm sorry, I know
The library is named
they're
after
not
your
smartest.
grandpa.
Yeah. So if your kid doesn't make the academic cut, who cares what your voucher is? But some of that stuff it's not even to send the kids to those private schools. It's my boy over here wants to open his private school.
Yeah.
And we just going to take the money.
Yeah.
So this is all a money grab. And so the way I look at it, I don't want to open those schools But like I said, these next 4 years, part of my rest is also part of my getting paid, getting this money. Okay, bet. You want vouchers?
Yeah.
You ain't going to like these. So vouchers mean I can teach what I want to teach, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So vouchers mean you don't want CRT being taught, but your voucher didn't say what I
Where?
got to teach
Yeah.
in order for you to get it. So give them the vouchers.
Because
then we going to open our schools
and that's
the CRT expert
That
is
is
be the
what
principal.
they are. That's what they're getting ready to put restrictions on. Hold on.
Oh, yeah,
Before I make that point, you said you got to be a special kind of smart to go to school like Kincaid. Let me also
Or a special
say,
kind of rich.
or a special kind of athlete, because how many of them have come into our communities and our schools and given our kids full
I had to write a
scholarships
recommendation for a student to
go
to
run,
the village
jump,
school.
and play for them. And then when they're done, they send their asses back on to their school. Anyway,
But, hey,
you know,
the
whatever.
athletic program, what I will say is that the student I wrote it for, I was like, you know what, I'm going to write it because I already know the place I work does not invest the same way in
that they will
athletics
invest,
as, say, where you work.
Mm-hmm.
And so, y'all literally, we got the same old stadium,
Yeah.
just got a Jumbotron.
Damn.
They are not investing in, and I don't even blame the people over the department. There's other folks.
That's
'Cause
crazy.
the people over the department would do.
That's
But
crazy.
y'all not giving it to them.
They're gonna invest
So
as
that
long
baby
as you
needs
scoring. Now, don't you be somebody that ain't benefiting.
But when all your athletes are going to better programs out west
Yeah.
and Wester, you end up not having a great program. So why would I not write this? Because that baby might go to that school and be seen. They're not going to be seen.
not gonna
They
see
play
you,
for
yeah.
us because y'all not investing in the children
Yeah,
to stay.
that makes sense.
So it's just kind of like,
That makes sense. So, I always get on my tangents, but let's go back to what type of restrictions
They'll put on the
that they're going to be
vouchers.
placing on those vouchers, right? And what they're worried about, what the naysayers of vouchers are saying, that they think is going to open up like a whole lot of fraud that's going to go
Yeah.
on. Because
For sure.
if you're saying home schools or micro schools, okay?
Yep.
Any Joe Blow can open up a micro school and get your $7,000 voucher. I can get 10 of y'all and put y'all in my garage and say I'm in here teaching whatever.
and I ain't saying that's a good thing.
But I'm just saying.
But I'm almost saying, y'all get your money. No, I'm just playing.
What you teach English, what you teach, you can do math and science. I can do a little.
Get your money.
Yeah. And so that's something else that
Oh, we going to do PD.
I feel. Oh, we gonna do.
Get
PD.
y'all some PD funds.
That's something I feel like. Is it worth discussing when you look at it from that aspect and how that could possibly benefit the children that are economically disadvantaged, right? Because I always say that this is going to be the school voucher thing is probably going to end up being a case of the haves and the have-nots.
Yes.
The grass being greener and then realizing that the grass ain't really greener. And if all of this energy was put into investing in public school kids from the jump, will we even be having to have these conversations?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
They were never going to invest in. Just like the fact that we over here begging for a very, very small increase in the property tax, but there's a surplus in the government right now. And so he already, whether they do the vouchers or not, they've already shown us they're not about to give you no money, no way.
Yep.
But, who's going to really have access to the vouchers and who will not? And it's going to be their friends' schools. I think the whole thing is just a money grab. I don't even think it's about opportunity.
Yeah.
School choice is a money grab thing. Somebody owns the schools that they're going to send this stuff to, and this is how I wash my money.
We're turning schools into business.
Yeah. It is. We know that
that's
every
what
day
it
at 10:15 when you don't take that damn attendance and get them people their money, your ass gonna be on a pip if you keep playing with them people in their attendance money.
Thank you. So, no.
But so when we go back to voters, because of course Texas, as we knew it would, even though I had my dummy self had a glimmer of hope that we was gonna get Mr. Collin in. I did.
I did think Colin. I was
had
like,
a glimmer
Colin
of hope.
already.
Because when I was, again, at my daughter's basketball game during the election night, I'm watching the numbers. I said, "Ooh, this is tight. This is tight." I have been watching the numbers even prior to the election, the preliminaries. And I said, "Oh, this is going to be a good one. This one is going to come down to the
I didn't have no faith because I
had a little faith, but then I remembered because I was like,
remember
man,
Beto.
maybe don't. I remember
yeah.
Beto.
I remember Beto.
But I was like, maybe Colin will do good because
thought-
he got his white mama.
Yeah,
And his white wife.
That's
But that
what I
also
thought.
means you got that white wife and you got them folks that person has that white woman, and I don't like that, and I'm going to go vote against that guy.
Yeah.
Because they're taking our women, and this is why we don't want them in the first place. So
This is true. So going back to voters, especially those in those wealthier or more conservative areas, supporting school vouchers without fully understanding the consequences
For caring.
or caring. Okay, let me say that because that's basically what it is. You understand the consequences. You just don't care.
Yeah.
About public schools and back to those students that rely on special education services or supports, right? So these voters are often equating private schools with better education, like you said. And I'm sure a lot of us have seen students come into our classrooms that have come from private schools. And we're like, baby, our regular kids, our neighborhood kids run circles around you, honey. Your parents will spend $36,000 a year for what?
I'm not coming from them kind of private schools.
Oh, baby, ours are. And we just like, baby, go sit
from
on
some
down.
schools,
Yes.
Sit
but
on
it's not
down
those.
and let me try to catch you up.
They don't be knowing nothing.
Yeah.
Some of them just be coming from the house. I ain't been in school.
Well, this is true. We
years.
had a lot of that too. The homeschool.
If they wasn't even homeschooled, they just didn't.
Well, this is what they said. You know,
They
you
ain't even say
saying
that.
she was homeschooled.
They didn't say that. I got a child has no record of being in
Oh,
7th
my
grade
goodness.
more than 2 days.
My goodness.
Oh, wow.
My
That
goodness.
baby was just not in school,
My goodness.
at home either.
So, do y'all think that voters are ignoring the larger implications of these policies? And if so, like, how much do y'all think that racism and personal bias are influencing their vote?
It's racism and class.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's because a lot of this stuff is about the bottom line, and so I don't even have to be racist to care about my bottom line. I care about my bottom line, and so one thing I felt the day after, I said some stuff isn't even black and white; it's green. And you got a lot of people who are going to vote for the green over anything. Just like you said, just like people voted for Trump just because they got the $1,200 voucher or whatever that was, and
He didn't
even give. I said, but if you can whore yourself out for $1,200, then I already know. And I was just like, I ain't even like that, but I can go out and get $1,200. You know, if I blink my eyes to the right person this weekend. I said that doesn't mean I'm gonna vote for that person.
What kind of people you mean? 1,200 for a blink of the eye?
I'm just saying.
that's
Well, I got to
that's
do a
a
little
dark
bit more than
episode.
blinking, but you know, it's an old man out there you can get $1,200 from if you work it right. I'm sure. Not saying I've ever done this, but the girls say
No judgment.
I
talk about
haven't
that
though.
on- we'll talk about
I'm
that
trying
on
to figure out where they at.
Where they at?
But we know that this is possible. So you gonna vote for somebody to be the leader of the free world behind $1,200. These people will vote for the money and they don't care anything. And some of these people actually might be sending their children to the $40,000 a year school. But guess what? I might make $300,000 a year, but that's $7,000 I ain't gotta pay. And if I get a voucher per kid, I might be saving $30. So we can go to Saint Tropez. I want my baby because the rich people don't want to spend more money like we don't.
Yeah,
they
they
penny
tight
pinch
too,
just
yeah.
like we do.
Yeah.
So I could get my Rolex, and if me getting my Rolex means that all these other kids don't get the services, who cares? Because I don't care about your kids because I only care about mine.
Let's talk about. I have this paper with these talking points. I'm gonna put this down because now I want to ask y'all something. We ain't even on it. But let's talk about y'all's thoughts on getting rid of the whole diversity, equity, inclusion.
I'm so irritated with that.
Go ahead.
Two things.
Okay.
Because I'm irritated about it. Obviously because that's my background. Even though it became a sexy thing, and people would play doing DEI. It's like y'all wasn't even doing DEI for real
right.
anyway. You were opening up pathways for people to get paid. And I think my only thing was like, now why wasn't I getting paid?
Because the people that were
said my name.
because the people that were getting paid
Some people didn't know what they were
didn't look
doing.
like us, and they were the leads of the
Or
heads
some
of
were, but
diversity.
they were friends and this and the other. And so
Or you the token, so let me put you over, or you go do this
That.
PD for diversity, equity, and inclusion.
that. And so, part of me was just like irritated because I was just like, girl, you ain't take advantage.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know the right folks. But it's just this idea of taking away DEI. We still here.
Yeah.
We still not going nowhere.
Exactly. Because I was going to say, how
you gonna really do
effective
that? And the thing is, where we work, it ain't no DEI where I'm at.
Exactly.
Because who else coming to work here anyway?
Exactly.
And so
That may look a little different for us, though.
It might look different, especially for upper level.
it may-
I don't think it will look different for us. The
Okay.
reason why is because you can't handle us. Think back to when you was recruiting us heavily because y'all thought them kids was out of control.
Man,
and we went over there and we was like, baby, what? This is easy.
This is a cakewalk coming from where we
like,
come from.
are you serious? This is what you couldn't control?
But again, it goes back to our
issue
conversation. Well, that too. But that goes back to our conversation when we said y'all built these schools in these neighborhoods thinking that we were not going to be here.
We come into.
And we came, and when you hired everybody to staff those schools, you hired who you thought were going to be your student population. And then the opposite got there, and you struggled for that first year that building was open. I'll never forget that. And then that second year, they were, when I say recruiting, bitch, they were recruiting us. I keep cursing. Sorry, y'all. This is not.
It was like that TikTok. Baby, we don't care about that. Just sign right here.
Sign right here, baby. That don't even matter. That don't even matter. Sign right here. And that's how they got us in the building. And when we came, and then the third year, it was even more of us that came. And then it was like, oh my God, all of our problems are solved because now guess what? A lot of them didn't have to do any of the work. And I'm going to take a little bit of that conversation we had on Teachers After Dark about the mediocre Marys, but let's water it down for this episode. But that's what I really, because mind you, I'm kind of like you. All my career, for the majority of my career before I came to this particular school district, I worked in the hood. I worked where I was raised.
And I started in that district. And left. It was only it was 3 women of color in that building.
It's progressed
now. Wait, 4 women of color, but that one of those was very much
coconutish.
Yes. Because she lived in the neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
And we were just moving to the neighborhood. The guys with their hats to the back and their loud music. The microaggressions like that. Yeah. And I was young, and I was just like, I hate it.
Yeah.
This ain't for me.
So when I got there from teaching where I had taught, and just like you said, Nikki, like, this it? Y'all couldn't
This what y'all dealing with?
But it gave the mediocre Marys the opportunity to rest. Because who was coming in to save the day?
Yep.
You had the black men, you had the black men coaches, you had the black women coaches, you had the black women that are just, over there, you could fart and it's gonna be magical because a black woman did it and the kids got in line when you did it. And they did not have to do a thing, or as my mom would say, they didn't have to hit a lick at a snake.
No.
Because we made it so very easy.
It made them look good, and now they in the high power positions and stuff like that.
And now we sitting in professional developments on a Saturday. I'm going back to the After Dark episode, going and sitting in professional developments on a Saturday with people who need to be sitting there learning from us. But I digress.
That's why we got to professionally develop ourselves.
We do. And so, again, to go back on the whole Department of Education conversation, the whole school voucher conversation, and going back to our people in education resting, right? I'm cleaning it up for this version of the podcast. But going back to us resting and us not being so quick to come through and be the savior for everybody. Yeah. It's time for us to take rest in the school system as well, because we have carried so much on our backs. I'm talking about academics. I'm talking about discipline. I'm talking about planning the events and creating the culture and the climate of the school, right? And I'm a go back to the conversation I had about that particular principal that I was talking about on the Teachers After Dark episode that said that those girls in the community embarrassed her for being themselves. The culture was embarrassing to her, but there's so many people on that campus that you depend on to build the culture of your school, right? But they are not the people that are in charge. They're all your assistants, but those assistants are the ones that are responsible for creating the culture. Who has the people coming out on a Friday night when y'all are jamming the Future and the 21 Savage and the NBA Youngboy on the Megatron of the games because it's cool and you have to
that's what the
cater to them right now, right? But then when it makes you look bad, now it's a problem, and now we got to water it down. And I blame a lot of us for that because, again, we go in and we're trying to, we're just going to make it a fun place to work. Oh, we're going to help them out. It's a fragile little old white lady. It's a fragile little old white man, and we're just going to help them. No. And then at the end of the day, they get the accolades. They get the awards. They get the recognition. And that's infuriating. And I really wish more of us would rest.
And that's the thing. I want to rest, But at the same time, I feel like over the past 5 years, I've been resting because I was just like, I'm tired of the politics. But then I get tired of the dumb stuff. And so when I think of the next 4 years, my rest looks like, if I ain't getting paid, I'm not doing it.
Yes.
And you going to pay me.
Yeah.
So even if I'm out here grinding, you going to pay me. So that's, I'm trying to keep it clear. But if you pay me, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And if I and mind you, I'm the one I'm gonna be at these basketball games. I'm gonna be at these football games. I'm gonna be at the volleyball games. But I'm not there because I'm trying to be a community member. I might have put that on my T-test because I'm gonna be there anyway. But I'm there because my children want me to be there.
Yeah, of course.
And when they ask me, are you coming to my game? I'm going to say, yeah, baby, I'm coming to your game. You might act a fool with me yesterday, but I'm going to be at that game. Yeah. I ain't there for you. I'm there for them.
For them.
And I enjoy the games. I'm a coach. I'm kicking this nigga. How you doing? This is fun for me.
Right.
But all that other stuff, I'm not doing that.
Not doing
Where the money at?
Yeah.
Well, we can't. Where the money at?
Ain't no money. It's money for what you want it to be for.
It's money
just
for what
like,
you want.
I think
I can't work for free no more. And that's what I want to tell sisters.
Yeah.
If you gonna rest in these next 4 years, you ain't even gotta rest. Rest on working for free.
Yeah.
And let that be the thing.
Let that be the boundary.
We got bills to pay.
Yeah.
And we can't pay it with love for the kids.
Yeah.
And all that other stuff. So get paid.
I feel like even talking about things like who they're choosing as school districts to invest in as far as professional developments and trainings that are out of town, right?
Ooh.
I have never, the last professional development I've been to where we got on the plane and went somewhere was when we worked in HISD at Thomas, and I think we went to Kentucky. I know it was Louisville, Kentucky,
dope.
For a math conference, bitch.
Oh,
and I was a co-teacher in math, but I was able to get on the plane and go because I was able to get the special education side of what they were learning. And let me see, my daughter was born in 2010. I think I left that school in 2008 or 9. I ain't been the one out of town since then. I BS you not. But other people...
She was in 10. That was the last year you were there.
That was the last year?
Because remember,
because I had my baby shower there.
Yeah. Because I was like,
her name is your name. Yeah.
She like her middle name a lot.
Loves it.
I got a bracelet she can have.
Well, good. She'll love that.
It got Michelle.
Like, y'all have the whole exact name.
Because I don't want it no more, and I would love to get rehome it.
Well, good. She would love that. But that's the last time. And so now when we go to places like that damn professional development you had me sitting on Saturday, and you look at the people who are leading it, these are the people that they're investing in to go across the country.
And this is what they bring back.
And this is what they're bringing back, the mediocrity of it all. And I wonder, did the people present this to you as mediocre as you're presenting it to me right now?
They have to present it because that is my cousin's friend.
Yeah.
And I feel you on that because in participating in that PD, my ADHD kicks in and I started looking at employment opportunities.
I'm going to be on LinkedIn.
To present what you're presenting to me. And I was like, why don't have no employment opportunities? Because everything is in-house.
In-house.
It's your cousin.
Because I'm not getting paid to sit here on this Saturday, but I bet you getting paid to present to me on this Saturday.
And that's why we got to do a better job of even networking.
Yeah.
And I say we, definitely me. Because then over the years, I've had people who played the game. I'm unwilling to play the game because I'm just like, it's going to be on my face. I don't play this game. But they played the game. We got to do a better job of making sure that we keep those connections and basically just ask for what we want. Because we do know some people in certain positions in certain districts, whether it's in this area or not. Who have access to let us be the one to come in.
Yeah, of course.
And if they ain't got the money now, they might have enough money later.
Yeah.
But it's just like, what do we need to do?
But it's so gate-kept. Like, they are the kings and queens.
They the kings and queens. But I will honestly say I have not taken advantage of certain connections that I have.
Okay.
And so how many of us aren't taking advantage? And we're not taking advantage because we don't want to ask. Because I don't like being told no. Or because we don't often get together and have conversations. Well, I know somebody who doing this. I know somebody who doing that. What if we all got together and talked about the different people that we need or that we know? My cousin, the principal up there in the Dallas area, middle school. Clearly, by now I could have reached out and said, hey, y'all have some PD opportunities. Y'all paying people from the outside. But because I haven't been ready. And I feel like I have to be I have to meet my own standards to come in and do something for you.
Right.
And then I sit in a thing like y'all did last weekend, and you realize, the
livid.
standards are below. But so a lot of
But
us
it's
think
okay
we're not
for
ready.
them.
It's okay for them.
Yeah.
But it's okay for them because that's good to them.
No,
Yeah.
and
We have higher standards for ourselves, so we don't want to go out there. But it's like, lower your standards, sis. They paying for way more.
Exactly. For what you think you're
Do it
prepared
scared.
for, they gonna love it. Like you said, all we had to do was cough, and it was like, oh my gosh,
That's
yeah,
great.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's like, how many times do we not put ourselves out there because we think we have to be X, Y, and Z because we have high standards?
Yeah.
We ready. You ready.
But it
Some
goes,
people learning more right now listening to this that they were learning in 3 to 4
big
hours
facts. Big
thing.
And it goes back to what I discussed on Teachers After Dark with you and sitting in that training. Like, these are people that you work under, right? They're supposed to be more knowledgeable in the field of gifted and talented students than you are, right? But as you were sitting there giving your responses, we were all in awe because it's like you clearly are running circles around them, which I also, we're going to go get into the whole, that's intimidating.
Oh, that's going to keep you where you
And
at.
then they're going to find ways to keep you in your place because you showed out a little bit, or you made us feel crazy in front of all these other people that are supposed to be looking to us to be the experts. Because I can't remember what response you gave, but when I tell you everybody in the room was like, damn.
That was me at PD earlier this year.
It was like, damn,
was
like y'all don't even keep talking after she shut that down. It was like, we done with the answers. You can close your laptop, baby, cut that projector out, put your little things back in your little buggy.
And they thanked you afterward. Thank you for saying that.
They did. That was a great response. Anybody else?
No, not them. It would be the people in the audience was feeling because that's what would happen to me. I'll say something, and usually it's because I'm getting on somebody behind.
No, that vibe wasn't there. I'm gonna tell you why that vibe wasn't there. I'm gonna tell you why that vibe wasn't there.
And this is where I where people be like,
The vibe
they be like,
came
thank
from
you for
us.
saying
the
that.
vibe came from us.
Okay.
But the others that were in the audience that didn't, the mediocre Marys gave the uppity Negro look.
Oh.
Because that's what we get.
That's what we get. I think I'm
she
glad that
knows
I'm in a
something.
certain. I think I would have gotten that at the previous district, that charter school district that I was at, because I was told that I make people. It's like you make people feel stupid. It ain't my fault if you feel stupid because I said what I said.
Maybe you feel
That's
stupid
a
because you
personal
are.
problem.
Yeah.
Or I mean, you don't feel stupid. Get read. Go read some things because I'm not saying anything that a lot of other people don't.
That
know.
goes back to that coddling.
You just
And black
happen to
women
not
having
know.
to coddle and dumb things down, water things down to make everybody
so
else
it's
comfortable.
like it ain't my fault that you feel like I make you feel. I'm not doing it on purpose, but I'm not going to like. I ain't gonna say lower my step. I'm not changing my language or how I deliver things to make you comfortable or to make if you don't feel smart after this, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And I do realize that I know how to cut folks down. I said I was actually being nice. I said now, if I was purposely trying to be unprofessional, people's feelings really would have been hurt up in this piece. I said, so trust me, I wasn't trying to make them feel dumb because if I was trying to make them feel dumb, they would have had a lot more to say.
I think for that, I just shut down. So instead of giving my opinion or participating in the discussion or being a good group person, I just don't say anything. I just be like watching the clock or sitting in the group chat. When the hell do we get out of here? Or I think I text her 5 times. I hate you so much for having me here on a Saturday. Or I just kept cutting her with the side eye. Like, I can't believe you got me listening to these
When I tell you
mediocre
she would not participate.
I wouldn't. I was
crazy.
That was resistance.
Remember I told you I led that training with that district with extremely low scores? I should just say it because I want to be shady.
Go ahead, be sure.
I'm not. But sometimes I wonder if the black people were looking at me like that in that meeting because I was directed to say certain things. And so I even felt in that PD that I wasn't being my authentic self because this is what the district wanted me to do.
Oh, wow.
And so then that became the tug of war that I had for the people with the people that I worked for. And I was just like, I can't go. I said, I will not go into another meeting and not like say what it is that I believe. I said, I can't do that. I said, I can't work with a district who wants to use a curriculum that I feel is mediocre and it's not aligned without addressing it. My expertise is about taking the curriculum and making it right.
Right.
Y'all wanted me to come in here and take that same curriculum that I know is not right, push it, and then
Put some lipstick
and
on
then
the pig.
and sprinkle some culturally relevant pedagogy over this trash curriculum. I'm sorry. I didn't go to school for that. I said, clearly you didn't read my research. The person who brought me in, your husband did. And he signed off on my research. And maybe he should have had that conversation with the people and not you, because clearly you don't know who I am like that. And so I was like, I can't do it. She said, well, if you have your convictions and when you're in a position to, baby, let me tell you something. This is side money. It was good money. But the district I work for pays my bills. The district I work for is the one that makes sure I have health care, not this. And so while I could
This was like a consulting
This
gig.
is a consulting gig, and they pay me good money. I got paid $2,000 for 3 hours. So the money is good, but at the end of the day, you got to sign me up to do this a whole lot of times to replace the money that I get from my district. They pay my bills. I don't have to wait to do anything.
But that goes back to what you said earlier about the money being there.
And
There's
that's
money
the thing.
there.
The money is there. And so it's just like, we are in a time where people are creating things for themselves. Like, think about how people, this podcast, TikTok, all of these things, we have to wait. We have to stop waiting for our districts to see what it is that they need to see in us if we know that they're not going to invest in us. Because there are other districts who are looking for us. And all we got to do is get a website and a few people to sign and say, hey, this person is legit. And you would be surprised. It's just, we have a lot of the knowledge. I personally just don't have the business acumen.
And guess
And,
what I have?
and guess what we got? And so it's like, what would that look like if we came together and say, this is what we want. This is our project 2020.
What did I text you in the PD? I text you and I text another homegirl. You know her. She's your sorority sister. At brunch, we talked.
Okay.
That you went to school with.
Oh, yeah.
I
Just
text
saw
them
her
in the group
homecoming.
chat. Yeah, I text them in the group chat and I said, B words. This is it.
But didn't we say we was going to do that again?
We said that last summer. Me and you had lunch in the village, drinks and lunch.
was
to
drinking
discuss it,
more
and
than
we
we
ended
was
up
discussing.
talking about men instead of
that fool.
We
You
ended
see
up-
how he had me?
He came
So
back.
on a real though, Trump may be putting us in our place for real, and not in our place in a negative perspective, but the positive for us and getting us back to where we need to be, which is this
Yes.
group economics and
Yes.
like let's all about our community. If we force
forced to do it.
We sitting down on this. I'm not doing that. So now what is energy about to go to?
Because girls getting paid $1 million to basically peddle Amazon stuff to us on Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's
we
why I don't
click
not
that
be
link
buying
and we
it.
buy it.
and we buying it.
We click that link and buy it. But do we
So buy this.
prioritize education like that? Because even like me pushing, I tutor, but getting people, especially our people, to invest in something like tutoring, but you'll invest in a sports trainer, you'll
The
invest
money
in
ain't-
all those other things.
The money ain't in the parents' tutoring.
Yeah.
The money is we got to get these
To the
districts
district.
getting
To the
this
district,
money.
yeah.
And
gotta
these
get
charter
where they having it.
And as much as I don't like a charter school, they be having money to burn.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
While the districts, the public schools have the funds, because in a minute, y'all, president about to cut them out. All righty, we gonna wrap this one up.
Wrap this up.
If you want the full, unfiltered, uncensored conversation about mediocre Marys and Black women arresting, go ahead and go to our Patreon on Teachers After Dark and listen to that version over there. But over here, we keep it cutesy.
And free.
A little bit. I forgot that we had to switch gears. I had to code switch. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the little profanities you got on there. But anyway, thank y'all for joining us, my radical and ratchet friends, my radical and ratchet teacher friends. And we'll be back next time with another episode of Richmond Forest Finest.
Thank you.
The
And
podcast.
bring me back when you got the men's here.
The
I'm
men-
sorry. This ain't Teachers After.
The men are coming, though. All right.
The ones that are married. Thank you.